Hey, good morning, everybody. Thought we'd bring you outside this early morning. It's about 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. I think it's September 12th. And we're going to do a little look at some paint. And as you can see in front of you here, we have some green paint. This is clear, but you can see we've got three different shades here. We have on this side, hammered Rust-Oleum, which will give you a texture. We have a moss green, which I thought was pretty close. And we also have a high heat, kind of olive drab kind of color. And what we're trying to match today is this. So we're trying to come up with the color for the inside of the B-Model Mack. And yes, I know you can go and get a computer. They have a scan tool, and they can scan it, and they can pick up that color, and they can mix you up a spray can of it, which is kind of what I want to do. I do have the Napa color, so I could go to Napa and actually have them make me up a quart, or they might even be able to make me up a spray can. But I want to be able to you know, do it in the future, so if I get any, you know, cracks or, you know, chips or anything, I'd be able to fix that up. So anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to, if you guys might be able to see, I'll bring this up a little closer to the camera. You see where it's shiny right up here? I polished this. This is all oxidized. This is the inside, so I figured it'd be the closest to the real color in comparison to this side. So this side has been polished and cleaned, and we're going to mask this off so we don't get any paint on it, and we're going to lay it right on the back of this, and then we can compare it right on the back of this. So I'll bring you back when it's all masked up. I got you set up at a little different angle. So all I've done now is I've just taken this glove box door, and I've basically just sanded it with some 400 grit, except for the spot that was polished up here, and then I applied some just Rust-Oleum etching primer on top of it. So I think we're ready to give it a shot. I'm going to go with what I think might be sort of close. First, I think I'm going to go with this hammered color. It might be a little green, but we'll see what we get. Looks a little green, but a little emerald. And it does actually fisheye quite a bit because of the hammered effect. So you know what? I'm going to go with this one instead, because maybe this is the high heat. Changed my mind because I'm just looking at it where I sprayed it over here, and I think it's a little too emerald. Now this is going to be flat, so thin, very thin. So let's shake it up real well. Could be challenging to paint if it's real thin. Yeah, very thin. We'll put a little coat of that on there. We may have to come back, it may overlap. Let's hit it with that emerald color again. This is the hammered color. I do like it. Actually, with a little bit of that over the top of that, you can almost make something. Because it is overlapping a little bit. So let's actually, I kind of like this color too. Oh, it's pretty green, or pretty mossy. It's moss green. That's what that color is. This is the moss green. So let me just lay down Where's that other stuff? This stuff. Something to that effect. That gets rid of that. Okay, so if you guys can see, what we've done is we have, this is the flat high heat green. This is, where'd it go? This is the hammered green in the middle. Can't set it down because I'm working on weird substrate here. And then this is the moss green farthest over. So we'll set them like this, so you guys can kind of see what's going on. Coming towards you. There, and there. So can you guys see that? That's what we've done. So we're going to let this dry up a little bit. Not totally though, because what I want to do is, two of these colors, the actual two colors that are the closest, are flat. So what I've done is I bought a can of clear coat, just plain clear, crystal clear, Rust-Oleum, same brand, so we shouldn't have too much problem with them not fish-eyeing. And I've usually had pretty good luck putting this stuff on while it's still a little wet. So this is starting to dry here, it looks like. This one is still taking a little longer. That's the 2X. I kind of like that color though. I kind of like that color. So let's just throw a little. See what happens with that with a little clear over it. See if the shine stays up on it. So that's all I've done now, is I've just cleared that, and we're going to let it dry. So sun's up, so shouldn't take too long. This is what I came up with. This is just a piece of scrap metal I had laying here, and I'll show you what I did. This is going to sound crazy, but it's a 3-part procedure. So, and I thought it looks, I know you guys probably can't see. I brought you out here in the sun to try to help show. I think it's just a slight bit darker, but if you look at it from this side where it's been oxidized, it's a lot closer. So I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but so we're going to show you what I did. I got a piece of tin here, rusty car hood, 1970s probably. I just took the wire brush to one side of it. It's got some pits and dimples in it, just like the dash does. So first step will be prime it. So Rust-Oleum etching primer, bare metal. Something to that effect. Don't go crazy with it, don't need to. We'll let that set up. Give it a minute. Yeah, I was wondering, I can see some eyeballs in this, some fish eyes. I'm wondering if that's going to be a problem, but we'll spray it out on this bigger panel, and then we'll actually be able to see for sure if that's the problem. Because what I basically did, I'll give you a run through while we're waiting for this to dry, is I applied the high heat green Rust-Oleum, which was pretty close, if you remember. It's this one right here. It's darker than what we need, and we need to lighten it up a little bit. Plus, the original color had a metallic in it. Well, this hammered finish has a metallic, and it is a lighter green. So what I did was I spray this first, this high heat flat green, and then I apply a little tiny bit, just a mist of this hammered finish, and then I let it set for a second, and then I clear right over the top of it with the just the regular clear. So we're almost there. This is starting to, got grass in it, starting to dry out. It's looking pretty good. So hard to tell if I'm recording or not. Oh yeah, I am. Okay, that looks like that's dry enough to do what we want to do. So we're going to come in now with the high heat, flat, green, and spray that whole piece out. And I'm laying it on pretty good just because it's flat and it's not going to roll anywhere. This stuff seemed to be thin, so be careful if you're trying to do this. It does seem to want to roll around a little bit. So out here in the sun right now, it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. It's going to dry out. There's a nice breeze. Beautiful day. So now that I got that on there, I'm letting that set for just a second. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with the next color. This is the hammered finish. And what this is going to do, if it all works well, is it's going to lighten this up a little bit, and it's going to apply a little bit of a metallic finish to it. Okay, notice I didn't go crazy. I just kind of laid it on high and let that metal flow out. So you got to remember now, that was a shiny coat, so that has gloss in it, but the rest below it does not. So I might actually, I don't want to go too dark. I don't think I'm going to lay another one on. I kind of want to, but I'm not going to. So clear. We'll lay the clear on. We'll let that one set for a minute. Actually, it was a good choice not to. I think that color looks really darn good. I mean, especially to, you know, the original kind of the way it looks. I don't know if it's the way it looked when I polished the other side. I used McGuire's rubbing compound to rub this side out and to rub this, and that's why it's shiny and looks nice, because it's taken all the corrosion or oxidization off, and it's definitely, you know, very metallic. But as I'm looking at this and this, I mean, yeah, it's a little more green than this, but it's definitely metallic, and it's lighter than this, and it's darker than that. So you guys can see I got 3 different tones going there. And if you apply it to the oxidized side, which looks kind of beat up, it's still a little darker, but it's not too bad. I think that might be the solution. I mean, we could try applying a little bit of this over that moss green too. That moss green looks good from an angle, but it's just a little too light. So I'm going to let this dry out a little bit. Actually, I'll put another coat of clear on it, and then not too bad. Let that dry out. Okay, so let's play around with this a little more. A lot of rust in it. This has been sanded so I can apply down here a little bit if I want to play around with this color. So let's go with a wet. Let's try, what do you think, dark over light? No, probably light over dark. So let's go with this. Oh, we got a little bit of run there. Had some denatured alcohol over there. Oh, that comes out way too fast. This stuff here, not going to work for that. So let's try putting this on first, and then trying to darken it up a little. Kind of darkens it up a little. Want to throw some metallic on it too? Let's just make a big mess. That gives us some sprinkles in there. It's lifting it a little. I don't know if the clear would hold it down. Yeah, the hammered is picking it up slightly. Yeah, definitely don't want to put the hammered over the moss. That doesn't seem like that really wants to work too well. So we're gonna. I like the color. Definitely darkens it up a little bit. Darkens up that moss. But I'm still thinking this might be the solution. I'm not getting a lot of, I mean, I got some, you know, dust in it and stuff, but shine looks good. It's a little darker, but even that doesn't look quite original. But I think that's the solution right there. I think that's the way we need to roll. Try to get it in the light for you so you guys can see. I think that's pretty darn close. That's almost what I've created over here too, so yep. The right angle. I mean, straight on they definitely is darker, but I think that's pretty close for reproducing it with a rattle can. So again, just to repeat it, do your etching primer. You might be able to go with a lighter primer. The etching primer is dark. You might be able to get a tone up on that, but I doubt it. But you could try it if you went with a regular automotive primer over your etching primer. Then I went with the high heat. This one, high heat green Rust-Oleum. Then I put on a very light coat of the hammered because it has the metal flake in it, and it's a little emeraldy, so it brings up the lighter tone of the green. And then just came right in, waited just a few seconds, less than a minute or two between each coat. That's outside, low humidity today, temperatures probably 50s, maybe 55. It's not 60. It's only supposed to get up to like 70 today, so. And so it's kind of cool out, so the paint's taking a little longer to dry. So, but I only gave it a couple minutes between coats, and I think that's pretty close. It really looks pretty close, I think, on this opposite side. So, and I kind of like the metal flake in it. You put it at a little angle, and then it really looks close. So, anyway, guys, I want to thank everybody for coming along and watching and subscribing, and you guys can give it a try. It proves the point that you can mix paint, rattle cans, and create different tones. Yeah, I know you might not be able to completely, you know, consistently create that color, but you can at least, you know, you can mix them. So you got to just be careful, test them out, and make sure that you can do it on that sheet before you go to the next one. So thanks again for watching and subscribing. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.